Hello! I'm Elaine, and I'm a tour guide in the French Quarter. I do ghost tours. And I am not going to tell you the stories that I tell on my tour, because you gotta pay for those. But if you want to hear some interesting things that have happened to me while I'm leading random drunk people around the French Quarter, I got you.
Today we're going to play a game called Didn't Bug Me, Didn't Bug Me, It Did Bug Me. Your goal is to guess which of these three things actually bugged me. So yesterday I had a tour that was a little bit wild. All the groups were just a little bit intoxicated. There was one group that was on the verge of too intoxicated, but luckily they did not come back from the bar break, and that was fine. But there was one group that was hanging out with me while we were waiting for the last group to come back before we realized they weren't coming back. And so I was just chatting with them. A guy walks by with a backpack and proudly proclaims that he's got all sorts of interesting things for sale. And before I know it, yes, one of my guests is over there buying little baggies of stuff, if you know my meaning here. Also bought a lovely little package wrapped up in white paper, cylindrical and short. You know what I'm talking about. Basically, they bought drugs directly on my tour, and they came over and they're like, do you know this guy? Like, do you trust him? I'm like, no, I don't know him. You just bought drugs off of someone on the side of the road. And they were like, so, and I'm like, just don't do them on my tour. That's all I care. And today, at a family-friendly tour, very cute tour. Like, oh my God, there was like a 3-year-old, there was like a 4-year-old, there was I'm guessing 6 or 7-year-old, there was like a 9-year-old, there were 2 little like 12-year-olds. Point is, a lot of kids. And I'm trying to go down the street, and there is a woman taking a selfie of one of her friends, and she has her other friends blocking the sidewalk. And I don't just mean standing in the way. I mean standing with their arms outstretched, their legs outstretched, screaming, "You can't come here! This area's taken! You gotta walk in the street!" And I'm like, we're not walking in the street. I have kids on this tour, and also it's illegal for tours to go in the street. And she was like, well, too bad. Go around. And to make it even worse, they were on a tour. Their tour guide was standing right there. And when I turned to look at him to expect him to be like, hey, you're not allowed to do that, he was just laughing. And the third event, also on this family-friendly tour, I mentioned that one of the kids was like 3. She might have honestly been 2. The important thing is she was still in diapers. And at one point she starts crying and wiggling around in her stroller and like definitely not quite happy anymore. And the mom tries to give her a little like squeezy applesauce kind of thing, and she doesn't seem interested in it. This particular company gives out bubbles to some of the kids on the family-friendly tour in a desperate attempt to keep them entertained. And so the mom tried to give the little girl her bubbles, and nope, was not fixing things. And that's when mom clearly realized the actual problem, because suddenly she picked the kid up, moved the stroller down, I would say about half a block. And I assume she's just over there, like, you know, rocking the child to get her to calm down. But I look over and realize that no, she has set the stroller up as a sort of flat surface to change the little girl's diaper in the middle of the street in the daylight. So which one of these events do you think bothered me? Yeah, no, it wasn't the drugs, it wasn't the diaper. Those are perfectly fine, not a disruption. I don't care. What bothered me is a lady who thought that her selfie was more important than the safety of a group of small children. Don't be that lady. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and be sure to check out my book, Drunks of the French Quarter Theater, available on Amazon, bookshop.org, Barnes & Noble, pretty much wherever.